So if you have no audience, no case studies, and you still want to start an AI automation agency from scratch, this is exactly how I would do it. I had a comment on a video and the guy said, hey, you put a lot of content out. Now shoot a video on exactly how to start from scratch if you have nothing. And that's what this video is for. So let's jump in. So the first thing you need to understand is that starting from zero is normal. You know, I started from zero when I started my agency, and most people I know with successful agencies started from zero. That is, they didn't have a personal brand in a business space because they didn't have anything. They didn't have a company, a website, or clients. So it's totally normal. You're not alone in this journey. And the thing is, you don't need credentials. You know, I've never once in my entire business career been asked, what did I study at college? I've never been asked if I went to college. Never been asked, what certifications do you have in order to offer this service? And the reason for that is I offer services that aren't regulated. That is, who regulates AI automation? Who regulates digital marketing? No one does. So you don't need credentials to get started. What you do need, however, is you need resourcefulness, you need persistence, you need tenacity, and you need action. And without these four things, you are simply not going to make it. Because I'm going to be real with you. If you aren't willing to put in the hard work and you're not willing to have late nights, have early mornings, and just continue to grind at the beginning, then I'd recommend switching this video off and leaving the channel right now, because this isn't an easy business to get started. It's very profitable, it's very simple, but simple and easy are not the same thing. So the first step is you need to decide on what you actually want to sell. So the way that I look at this is I look at what outcome do I want to deliver. And there are many outcomes out there you can deliver. You can deliver more revenue, more sales calls, more leads. You can deliver a faster onboarding process for salespeople. You can deliver a back-end HR processes. You can deliver proposal automation. You can deliver so many things, but ultimately it comes down to more revenue, saved time, or lower risk. And you need to pick which one of those three you are going to start focusing on initially. Now, I recommend finding a vertical of that. You're either front end, top line revenue, your back end, which is save time, or your lower risk, which is overall business reputation. Pick one of those that you believe you can excel in and stick with it. Then you need to decide, what problem can you solve? Can you solve the problem of onboarding salespeople? Can you solve the problem of, proposals taking too long? Can you solve the problem of generating B2B cold leads? Can you solve the problem of building websites? Like, whatever it is, you need to really think, what problem can you solve? And if you have got absolutely no experience, check out my channel. You'll find lots of different ideas on the channel. I've got niche videos, I've got service videos. Check it out. I'll give you some ideas to get started with. And then finally, you need to sit down and write a one-sentence promise. For me, it's we're not an agency, we're growth partners. Every business needs more leads, more conversions, and better reputation. And that's what we do. Now, I didn't start with servicing all three. I started with more leads. And then over the last 10 years, I've grown into servicing those other verticals as well, because my clients demanded it. My clients need it. They need someone they can trust to look after the whole business. So what is your one sentence promise? Now, step two, you need to choose a niche that you can learn fast. I get asked all the time, what's the best niche? How do you pick a niche? The reality is most people watching this video don't understand any industries from what I've experienced. Most people are, between 18 and 35, and they've never really been in an industry that they understand. And that's okay. That's why I frame this as you need to be able to learn this industry fast. So as an example, learning industry fast usually comes when you enjoy that industry. If you really love cars, then explore different industries within the automotive space. It could be automotive dealers, it could be mechanics, it could be body shops, it could be custom body shops, it could be wrap shops, it could be, car brokers, it could be rental car companies. Like, pick an industry that you actually enjoy spending time in, because if you don't, it's gonna be really hard. Now, I've done both approaches, which is pick a service and niche only in a service. And I've done pick a niche and specialize only in a niche. You both can work. However, the fastest way is to pick a niche and a service. So if you say, I'm going to help automotive wrap shops, that's the companies that put the vinyl wraps around cars to either change the color or put design on them. I help automotive wrap shops to generate 20% more leads than they're currently doing, or to generate 30 qualified wraps a month using AI. Fantastic. That's what you do. And then whatever you have built on the back end as your mousetrap is the delivery mechanism. Now, what are the criteria of picking an industry? The first one is they've got to have money. You can't help a business that just doesn't have any money. Like, if you look at, there's some business models that are really flawed, like small pest cleaning companies, pest control companies as an example. My experience is most of these are $99 one time a year, one guy running them. There's no money there to actually hire someone to spend several $1,000s a month. The second criteria is they need to have a recurring process of some sort. That could be a recurring process to generate leads, a recurring sales process, a recurring back-end process. You know, maybe it's a client satisfaction process. Maybe it's a review generation process. There needs to be some form of recurring process that you can then automate for them, which will save them time and money. Another example is if they're doing manual follow-up of any sort, it's an instant tick. Whether it's calling leads back, whether it's following up after for invoices, whatever it is they're doing manually in that industry, you can really crush it. Now, one of the fastest ways to learn an industry is to say, hey, and I'm going to use the car wrap shops as an example. You say, you know what, I want to work with a car wrap shop. Go down in person to the wrap shop in your city and talk to the owner and say, hey, I want to learn this industry. I want to offer amazing marketing. I'll give you an exclusive on our city for my services, and I want to build something for you. When you do that, most of the time, they'll say, I'll teach you the industry, and yeah, I'll be happy to be a case study if you do it for free, which is the golden ticket. You need that first little nibble, and that's a really great way to get started. Step number 3 is you need to create your starter offer. So your starter offer, once you've done your due diligence, whether it's going in person, whether it's reading on Reddit, whether it's doing online research, Facebook groups, etc. on your industry, you then want to create your starter offer. A really great starter offer could be something like, if you're in the B2B space, I help businesses get 20 qualified sales appointments a month. It's a really simple, this is who I help. Oh, this is my starter offer, sorry. If you want to use the wrap shop example, something like a review shield could be a really great option. I help automotive detailers get 20 new 5-star reviews every single month without a single 1-star review. That is a really clear starter offer. And then you want to sell it at a single price point. Now, in AI automation YouTube, it's very easy to get sucked into 10,000 different N8N workflows. The challenge with that is that then positions you as an N8N expert, and that puts you more into the freelancer bracket than the agency bracket. And you really want to be a solutions provider that provides an outcome. Position yourself that way, and you'll make a lot more money a lot easier because you can scale, and people won't ask you to then build custom solutions. If you come in and say, I'm just going to help you generate reviews with a reputation and review shield, that then means you can also joint venture with people who do lead gen, with people who do back-end processes, with web designers, with print marketing companies. You can actually joint venture with them, and that's how you can build a referral flywheel. Now, there's great books. Alex Hormozi wrote a great book recently, $100 Million Money Models. If you are starting out, I would not recommend reading this. And the simple reason for that is you need to go from 0 to something to even have a business to then improve. So this book talks all about upsells, downsells, cross sells, backward sells. Fantastic book when you've got 10 clients, 20 clients, and you want to refine it, and you want to take that jump from $10,000, $20,000 a month to $100,000 or to $1 million a month. That's where that sort of knowledge comes in. But to get started, you need a clear, simple offer you can execute on consistently, because getting stuck in a delivery trap is the quickest way to stop focusing on sales, which means your business never grows. Now, step number 4 is you need to get your first conversations going. The first thing I'd do is I would reach out to your acquaintances and your warm network. So this is a little counterintuitive to what I said before, and this plays into it if you don't know what industry you're going after. So say you're going to use the Review Shield as an example, which is a service that I teach people inside my group. If you're going to use the Review Shield as an example, then what you want to do is you want to reach out to everyone you know. That could be if you've got someone that cleans your house, if you've got friends who own a business, you have friends who work in a business. Reach out to them and say, hey, this is the service that I'm offering to businesses now. Would you like to explore it? And would you like a 14-day trial as an example? Now remember, you're starting from nothing, so you need to build trust. You can't come in and say, hey, it's $5,000 a month, do you want it? I mean, you can if someone's really itching at the bit, and if you want to white label some case studies that I'm preparing, then you can do that. But if you don't have that, then you want to come in and just get trials going, because that gets conversations going. The second thing you want to do is once you've done your warm reach out. Now, most people will get a closed deal in their warm reach out. You'd be amazed at how much money is in your warm network if you just reach out to every person you've ever known and say, hey, this is what I'm doing. I've started an AI automation agency. This is a service I'm offering. Do you or anyone you know have a business that could benefit from more reviews and more exposure? That's it. Now, once you've exhausted your warm network, you then want to start your cold outreach. Now, cold outreach is a lot harder. It requires a lot more numbers. You need to have a lot more volume. So LinkedIn and cold email are your two cold outreach methods. But again, don't start there, guys. Start with your warm outreach. That's usually where you're going to find your first few clients. And on these first cold outreach messages, you want to just have a chat. You want to organize a 15 to 20 minute chat to discuss what's possible with AI for their business. And on these chats, you want to ask them questions because you need to learn. Now, you'll be reaching out to the niche you selected earlier, but you want to learn all about this industry, which is where asking them questions comes in. What are they currently doing? What are their pain points? What problems are they having? You know, I run a campaign that I call the podcast method, which is where you actually, or the interview method, where you actually get on calls with people and you can actually chat with them and interview them about what they're doing in sales and marketing. And then, you know, once a year, you can put it into a white paper or into a podcast, the recording of the call. So really, really cool way to get that market research going. And to get more conversations open. And again, that's something that, you know, I'll teach in more detail, either in a later video or inside my group. Now, these first clients, why are they so important? It's because they fall into step number 5, which is to use these first clients as a case study launchpad. That is, you want to deliver the most outstanding service and results for your first clients that they want to give you a case study. And there's no harm in telling them, hey, I'm starting out, you're my first client here, as long as you work the compensation effectively. Most business people started from zero and they want to help someone else who's starting from zero. So they'll give you a shot and use that as a case study. You know, record everything, every number, every upside, every downside. You get a video testimonial from them at the end of it. Feature it front and center on your website once you get it, and use that as your sales asset to get your second, third, fourth, fifth client. That's why I'm not a huge fan of just blasting mass emails and trying to sign 10 clients in a month, because you don't know how to deliver yet, and that's just going to blow your entire business reputation up. So guys, in a nutshell, that is how I would start an AI automation agency from scratch if I had to start again. Ultimately, it comes down to how resourceful are you, how much tenacity do you have, and how much action are you going to take? Because every tutorial in the world can tell you exactly what to do. But if you don't take action, you're not determined, and you don't follow through when things get tough, it doesn't matter. So guys, that is it. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, drop them below, and subscribe if you're enjoying this content. I've got some fantastic videos coming out next about how to go from 0 to 10K in your agency as a beginner. So I'll see you in the next video.